It's a Sunflower State showdown in Wichita tonight between two teams that have plenty of history in their own right, but rarely meet in the college basketball season and have never met in the history of the basketball tournament. That all changes tonight. It's Kansas versus Wichita State from inside Charles Koch Arena. Both teams vying for that $2 million winner-take-all TBT prize. Here's a look at the alumni bracket. You can see what's at stake. After the Kentucky alumni team knocked off Syracuse yesterday, they await the winner of Wichita State, Kansas in the alumni bracket final on Wednesday in Lexington. Single elimination the rest of the way as we welcome you courtside from Charles Koch Arena alongside former Jayhawk Nick Bach. Chris Foster's on hand. As TBT fans ourselves, we've been hoping for this matchup for many TBTs now, and we finally get it tonight.
Long time coming. This has been a matchup everybody's been waiting for years, and we finally got it. It may be July, but this is going to have a January, February type feel to it. There's a palpable buzz and intensity in this arena. Wichita State, Kansas, Jayhawk Shockers, storylines all over the place. The intensity is going to be a lot of fun.
Here's how the two teams match up statistically. They've each played 3 games in the tournament so far. AfterShocks have a deep team, Nick, but Kansas has been really resilient.
No doubt about it. I think Kansas is here because of the Elam ending. They trailed heading into the Elam ending in Game 2 and Game 3 and emerged victorious. The free throw line was a big part of that, and the defending TBT champs have looked pretty good statistically. You see what they've done from a rebounding perspective. I'm going to have my eyes on that. Can Kansas hang in there in the paint and on the glass is going to really be important.
And the Roundhouse is definitely rocking tonight. Lights are out, cell phones are on, as the Wichita State alumni team AfterShocks are announced to the home crowd. Keene, Frankamp, McDuffie, Kelly, and a lineup change for Wichita State tonight. Big man Marco Santos Silva, not a former Shocker, but has been one of the best big men in TBT this year. He enters the starting lineup for the first time for Kansas. Jacob Hanna, Division II player, Wichita native in the starting lineup, along with Frank Mason III, who's hit both of Jayhawks Hoops' game-winning Elam-ending shots at TBT this year, joined by Zeke Mayo, Billy Preston, and Carlton Bragg Jr. enters the starting lineup for head coach Sharon Collins. Of course, AfterShocks are coached by former Shocker Zach Bush, and we thought that these two teams were on a collision course to meet in 2024. Wichita State hosted a regional that year. Kansas was in it, but Team Colorado was the bracket buster in 2024. They beat AfterShocks in the second round and Jayhawks Hoops in the third round to win the region. But we finally get this long-anticipated matchup here on a TBT court tonight. AfterShocks are still the defending champions until someone says otherwise.
Yeah, both these teams have been tested, going to 3 games in their opening round series, but this crowd is outstanding. And there's a little bit of Jayhawk blue, but there's a lot of Shocker yellow. It'll be interesting to see how Frank Mason and Zeke Mayo handle the environment. They just finished playing their rival K-State, so they're accustomed to it, but this is going to be a blast here tonight inside the Roundhouse.
Connor Frankamp, Wichita and Wichita State legend, of course, began his college career at Kansas. Played 1 season for the Jayhawks up in Lawrence. We are just about ready to go. Jamari Traylor will take the tip against Marcus Santos Silva. Late lineup change. Traylor in the starting lineup, not Carlton Bragg Jr. for Jayhawks Hoops. And we are underway. Here's the matchup we'll be keeping our eyes on tonight, this guard matchup between Frank Mason of Jayhawks Hoops and Marcus Keene, the defending TBT MVP.
Well, certainly Kansas's team, Mason and Mayo, as they go, Kansas goes, and they really played well in crunch time in games 2 and 3 in their series against Kansas State. Can Wichita State slow down the guards of KU?
Here's Jacob Hanna. And that lands. Jamari Traylor tried to play it. That is legal. You can play the ball once it bounces off the cylinder according to FIBA rules. That's what we play by here in TBT.
And like you said, Jacob Hanna, a Wichita native, so a little bit of a homecoming for him. He's more of a slasher, defender, attack the rim player, but certainly a free throw line jumper to get things started.
Played his high school ball at Mays High School on the west side. AfterShocks looking for their first bucket of the game. And it's out of bounds.
It's going to stay here. And Kansas, over the course of their 3 games, they really found themselves on the defensive end of the floor. That's how they were able to come back. They trailed heading into the Elam ending in games 2 and 3. But they really turned it up defensively. We'll see if that'll carry over because they got their hands full with this guy.
Marcus Keene, kick out, Connor Frankamp. The crowd was ready to erupt.
Great look for Frankamp. Love that penetration and kick from Marcus Keene.
Wichita North High School, Zeke Mayo, almost over the backboard it looked like.
There's high off the glass, and then there's that. That was way up there.
AfterShocks looking for their first bucket in the first ever meeting between Wichita State and Kansas in TBT. Marcus McDuffie. Rebound tipped. Rashard Kelly with the lane.
Where I think Wichita State has to win emphatically is on the glass. I think they're the bigger and more physical team. Well, sometimes you got to win your advantage wherever it lies.
Billy Preston too strong. Kelly the rebound. The last time these two teams met on a college basketball court was in the NCAA tournament in 2015. Rashard Kelly was on the roster. Thrown up ahead to Frank Mason III. Here is Zeke Mayo. Preston, shot fake. Trailer from the baseline.
Good play from Billy Preston, who has typically got a scorer's mentality. That was a nice drive and find to his running mate down low.
Skip pass, tipped and taken by Hanna. One-on-one with Keene. He strips the ball. It stays with Jayhawks hoops.
You're seeing the talent that Billy Preston has. This is a former McDonald's All-American. He's all of 6'10". He can move. You see the block. And then he can shoot the 3, so you got to run him off the line, but he's more than capable of making plays off the bounce. He's a really, really important player tonight because of the front line that he's going to have to play with some physicality, but use his athleticism in dragging those bigs away on this end of the floor.
Trailer, a little bit farther out that time. Trailer's mid-range J is working.
What a start for KU.
They haven't shot that well in the first 3 games.
Yeah, the shooting numbers have really not been kind to KU thus far.
No shot. Foul on the floor against Jayhawks hoops. As you can imagine, Wichita State fans want that bucket to count, but Jacob Hanna whistled for the personal.
Well, Chris, I think you'd agree. We talk about how, as Frank Mason and Mayo go, that's what spurs the KU team on. I think the same thing can be said for Marcus Keene and Wichita State. They need this guy to put his fingerprints on the game, scoring the ball.
Keene contested in the lane and then a foul on AfterShocks as they were trying to steal the ball back after the Jayhawks hoops rebound.
Well, keep in mind, this starting 5's been a little bit slow starting for Wichita State in the tournament outside of game 1. And one of the strengths of this Shocker team is their depth. They're going to be able to throw another 5 out there shortly. And they're going to be able to sometimes even play at a higher level than the starters.
Kind of the blessing and the curse for Zach Bush. He's got a deep team, but has to find the right combination on the floor. Frank Mason, too strong. Trailer tried the tip slam.
Dodged the bullet there, giving Mason an easy 3 off the bounce.
Frankamp looking for the pick and roll. Santos Silva, floater, back iron, tipped, loose. Kelly made a play on it, but Frank Mason on the move. Mason with the Euro step, blocked by Keene.
Wow. How many blocks has Keene got in his college career? Probably not very many. That was a swat.
Kelly got fancy. Frankamp, top of the key. In and out, McDuffie misses the putback, but a foul is called.
Frankamp's gotten a couple of really clean looks, but how about Marcus Keene just trailing the play? Nice little Euro step from Frank Mason. And Marcus Keene cleans it up.
3 career college blocks for Marcus Keene.
I don't think I need to check the tape. That's got to be his most emphatic block he's had as a pro. That was pretty nice. And here comes the bench for both teams. Carlton Bragg checks in for KU, and QJ Peterson from VMI checks in for the Shockers.
McDuffie 2 for 2 at the line, one of the AfterShocks co-captains. And it's an 8-4 contest. These are 9-minute quarters. These games move fast. And then when we get to the fourth quarter, under 4 minutes, we turn the game clock off and play to a target score. It's the Elam ending, a TBT staple. Ball stuck with Zeke Mayo. James Woodard on defense. Anna stepped out of bounds.
That is knowing your personnel. Zeke Mayo, when he starts playing with the ball, he wants to pull up from 3. Woodard understood that. He crowded the airspace, ran Mayo off the line, and it ends in a turnover. Smart defense from Woodard, understanding that Mayo is a lethal shooter.
Peterson, number 20 in black, hit the game-winning 3-ball for AfterShocks in the series clincher against New Mexico. Santos Silva, his first bucket of the game.
Gonna have to fight Santos Silva inside. He is a load, way bigger than you think he is in person. That's a large dude.
Averaging over 10 rebounds a game at the tournament this year.
Just a little strength from Santos Silva, go through the traffic to score.
A great left hand.
Yes, he does.
Mayo hooks it to Preston. Five on the shot clock. Preston gets inside.
So ridiculous. Smooth.
A 6'10" to have handles like that.
He's a 6'10" guard.
QJ Peterson for 3.
Big time shooter, folks. He had all of Wichita State's points in the Elam ending win in game 3. Over 2,000 points at VMI. That's what he does.
Foul on AfterShocks, Richard Kelly. Back and forth start. Wichita State's cut the Kansas lead to 1.
This is any indication of what we're going to get tonight. This is fantastic. Back and forth, both teams settling in. Don't go anywhere. It's Shockers and Jayhawks, baby.
Yeah, hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Chris, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
What's happening, CP?
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah. We're doing good. Got you loud and clear on our end here in Wichita. Thanks for doing this.
No problem. Okay.
AfterShocks in the huddle. Shockers sound high above in Charles Koch Arena. And this game is brought to you by Skechers Basketball. Comfort that performs. Great atmosphere, Nick. You played here as a member of the Creighton Blue Jays. You broadcasted the TBT championship game here last year. And another great crowd adding to the wonderful reputation that this venue has for just being a great place for basketball.
No doubt. And I've told you this story, but I'll tell you again. I think I have permanent hearing loss for 2 technical foul free throws I took after Greg Marshall was teed up. You're pretty locked in at the free throw line, but even I was like, whoa, this is loud here. This is one of the great venues in all of basketball, and how they've wrapped their arms around the AfterShocks and the TBT. That's a big reason why there's a TBT championship banner hanging in the arena.
Capacity of Koch Arena, 10,500. And a great crowd on hand tonight. 1-point game, late first quarter. Carlton Bragg Jr. on the floor for JHX Hoops. And Mo Udezi coming off the bench for the first time. corrals the rebound off the Mason miss. Woodard loses it out of bounds. And it's JHX Hoops ball.
Great pressure from Jacob Hanna on the ball. He'll get a breather now. Checking in, KU legend Mario Chalmers.
And certainly a cheer here inside Koch Arena. It is majority black and gold for the Shockers, but Mario Chalmers, state legend for Kansas, of course. Greg Mason off the mark. Corey Washington pulls in the rebound from above the rim and draws a hard foul.
Well, you keep on waiting. Mario has had a quiet tournament so far, but you feel like at any moment he could absolutely play a large role. The good part about him is he's been able to be thrown into games in crunch time, and obviously you're talking about someone that is used to any sort of pressure-packed situation. 2008 national champ with the biggest shot in Kansas history, 2-time NBA champ at the peak.
It's a bucket for Udezi after Peterson was blocked at the rim. Chalmers has been a winner everywhere he's been.
Yes.
And a TBT championship would certainly fit right at home on his trophy ledger of many trophies won. It's a foul called. Mayo battling for the ball. And it's on Washington of AfterShocks.
Heck of a block from Bragg to go get this, but obviously when you go to block a shot, that can leave the front of the rim vacant for a rotation rebound. That's what you saw there for the easy one.
First lead of the game for Wichita State. Here's Chalmers looking for his first TBT point. Hanna drives and hits the floater.
Good looking athlete is Jacob Hanna. Was a big time player at Washburn University in Topeka. Nice pickup for KU.
Mason the steal. Mason ahead of Peterson. Lays it in. Things have gone off course for AfterShocks. It's been plays like that, turnovers that lead to runouts.
No doubt about it. That's been the biggest bugaboo for Wichita State. These pick-6 live ball turnovers. New Mexico feasted on them, and KU is built to do the same thing. Bill Self had been so proud watching this group battle and do it from the defensive end and with toughness to beat K-State.
Woodard for 3, first of the game for AfterShocks.
Well, Zach Bush said we've had a handful of guys not play up to the standard that they can play to, and Woodard's one of those guys. And Coach Bush said he felt like some of these guys were due for a big game.
Woodard had 2 big games in the AfterShocks championship run last year. 12 points in the quarterfinal and again in the semifinal. Mario Chalmers bucket and a foul. The first points of his TBT career, and he lets the AfterShocks bench know.
How about that? How cool is this for KU fans? This is a legend of Kansas basketball. And a part of the fun of being a KU fan or a Wichita State fan is to watch these players grow up before your eyes. Well, I'm sure a lot of KU fans watching remember when Mario arrived as a freshman. Well, he's now 40 years old and he's still representing KU.
Played 110 games in his Jayhawks career, started 96 of them. That was only a 3-year career, by the way. Deep postseason runs every year in Lawrence. Chauncey Jenkins for Washington in the corner. Nearly a turnover. Peterson finds a spot. He does not need a lot of room, but that 3-ball was short. Rebound tipped all the way out to Hannah of Jayhawks hoops. That's an offensive foul. QJ Peterson sets his feet, draws the charge.
You see QJ Peterson paid the price. You can see it. Hannah had a head of steam. Sets his feet well above the restricted area. That's tough because Hannah is sidestepping him, but there is contact. But there's no doubt he was set, and Hannah was a little out of control.
Our referees tonight, Wes Ford, Johnny Wilkins, and Stephen Maxwell. Having a quick conference here before we get back to play.
If Kansas is challenging this because of a restricted area, this review is gonna take all of 1 second.
Challenges in TBT follow college basketball's rules for challenges, so each team gets a challenge, provided they have a timeout. And if successful, you retain your challenge. If not, you lose the challenge.
Well, typically when you resume play, you can't challenge anymore.
Yeah.
Take another look at it. He's not even close to the restricted area.
I know the Kansas bench was indicating to challenge it, but I still wasn't sure if Sharon Collins actually informed the officials, hey, we're challenging this. Stephen Maxwell with the explanation for us. It was a Kansas challenge.
It was a Kansas challenge. They were contesting and challenging the restricted area, and they lost the challenge. So maybe a little bit of a mistake there from Sharon Collins and the Kansas bench. Again, that wasn't even close.
He was in the middle of the lane.
Yeah. You can make a case he was closer to the free throw line than he was to the restricted area. And that could end up looming large.
You get a use it or lose it timeout in the first half. Kansas effectively burns theirs there on the missed challenge. But yes, to your point about the ramifications, they don't have a challenge the rest of the game now. Peterson at the controls for AfterShocks. Woodard, step back, drops it off. Udezi is fouled.
Oh boy, I thought Frank Mason maybe got that one clean. Heck of a play from James Woodard on the drop down to Udezi, but Frank Mason, right place, right time. Got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Udezi played at Wichita State from 2018 to 2022. This is his first time lacing it up with AfterShocks. Ron Collins with a long look on the Jayhawks hoops bench. Udeze off the mark. He goes 1 for 2. Washington could not save it. He stepped out of bounds. Shot clock turned off, and Kansas with a chance at the final bucket of the quarter.
Extra awareness of this dude right here. Can't let him rock you back for a three. Got to have good ball pressure and communication on these ball screens.
Three seconds. Mason, 4-3. Skims the rim, but not on target. It's a one-point game in favor of Kansas as we go to the first quarter break. Hey, stick around. When we come back for the second quarter, we'll be joined by TBT co-owner, none other than the great Chris Paul. We'll chat with him when the second quarter begins from Wichita. Stick around. It's the start of the second quarter from a very loud Charles Koch Arena in Wichita, Kansas. The Kansas Alumni team leads Wichita State 16-15 with the winner moving on to the Alumni Championship game, part of the TBT 2026 bracket. We're delighted to welcome in TBT co-owner Chris Paul, none other than the 12-time NBA All-Star. CP3, thanks so much for joining us. What have your thoughts been on TBT so far here in 2026?
Man, it's been great. Thank y'all for having me on. I've been tuned in, watching. It's always fun to see the competition, great games, guys that I played against, guys that I grew up playing against, and just to see the competition is what makes TBT what it is.
Chris, I want to take a step back for a second here. 21-year NBA career, you're officially retired. How does retirement feel? What's the adjustment been like?
It's amazing right now, to tell you the truth. A little different, getting tapped into everyday stuff, but it's been really cool getting a chance to be around my kids a lot more often, getting a chance to see them as they're 17 and 13 and both playing the game too.
There's some changes to the TBT format this year, Chris. Of course, the championship pot goes from $1 million to $2 million. And then in the first round, at least on the alumni side of the bracket, series play, no longer single elimination in the first round, best 2 out of 3. What have you thought about some of the changes that TBT made to its tournament structure?
I've loved it. I've loved it. The best 2 out of 3 gives the fans a little bit more, give them a little bit more action, give them a chance to see their team. And anytime you get more games, the better. I think the competition level is just as high, if not higher. Making the stakes a little higher, $2 million. It's big time.
Hey, CP, it's one of the things that's great about the TBT, obviously, is the pride in your alma mater and the love for the alumni teams, not only from the fans but for the players. Obviously, we're kind of living in a world where NIL and the transfer portal has been a little bit of an erosion to that, and I think the TBT has kind of been filling that cup, at least for me. Do you feel that same way? I know you still got a lot of love for Wake Forest, but I mean, as you've watched these alumni teams, I'm sure you love that element of it.
Well, alumni team, I think you probably have to ask the fans too. I'm sure if you're a big fan of Kansas and you get a chance to see Sherrod over there being the coach, and you get to see Mario Chalmers still out here playing and competing for their school, and it's the camaraderie. I mean, I'm newly retired, and some of these guys probably still play overseas and all this different type of stuff, but to get a chance to play this game that we all love and to play in meaningful games, right? Like a lot of people still go to, your local, 24-hour fitness, something like that. This is different. This is different. This is putting on the school colors and playing for a lot of pride and also playing for $2 million.
We're talking with 12-time NBA All-Star Chris Paul, TBT co-owner. Got a 17-17 ball game on our hands. Early second quarter. There's an air ball by Billy Preston there. You mentioned just watching Mario Chalmers. We saw him at the free throw line a little while ago. His teammate for JHX Hoops, Frank Mason III, contemplating retirement. For the Kentucky alumni team, Willie Cauley-Stein contemplating retirement. I know this is very soon to ask this question, but how do you feel personally about closure with the game? Do you feel at peace with being away from the game as a player?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm at peace. I get a chance to be around the game daily, right? Like I said, with my own kids. I have an AAU program. I'm assistant coach now at my son's high school. And these guys, obviously there's nothing like playing the game. And so if this is it for those guys, I just thank them, for being here and competing in the TBT. Frank looked real good out there, though. Frank looked like he can still keep hooping. So does Cauley-Stein. And for me, it's really dope because, like I said, I played against these guys. Frank Mason, I didn't know him for a really long time. So what I admire is the passion and the fact that these guys still get up and stretch and work out and train and put yourself in position to go out here and compete.
Chris, to me, one of the things I love about the TBT is obviously the NBA, they're the best of the best in the world. But as you know, there's a lot of good basketball played overseas. And just because you're not in the NBA doesn't mean you're not a big-time player. It's got to be cool for you to see some of these guys that you know and are still getting paid to play, and they're playing at a high level, and TBT can showcase those guys too.
Honestly, that's why I fell in love with the TBT. Like, I tell you, a guy named John Muger, who y'all know, but John never wants anything said about himself, so I'm going to shout John out for creating the TBT, but that's what drew me to it. Years ago, I was home during the summer watching the TBT, and I saw a bunch of guys that I played against in AAU and high school and stuff that I hadn't seen in years. So I reached out to John and was like, man, how can I be a part of this? Because I just love basketball so much, and I love to see these guys still competing and putting their body through the things that they're doing without all the training staffs and all that stuff that you have at an NBA level. These guys right here, they really show the passion and the love for the game.
Chris, I got a two-parter for you. You mentioned your son now in high school. Are we still calling him Little Chris at this point now that he's in high school and you're retired?
Man. Listen, I got home a little while ago and he walked past me trying to size me up. He's still Little Chris by any standard. By my standards, he is.
All right, understood. And all kidding aside, as you're starting to coach your son, how important is the culture piece? You know, because we see that on the TBT side as well with these alumni programs. This game in particular, great cultures between Wichita State and Kansas. You know, the teams that you've played on, the programs you've been a part of, how important is the culture piece?
The culture is everything. You know, the camaraderie, the playing the right way, sharing the ball, all those different things. And while I'm at it, I got to say a huge thank you to Wichita State. They've been a staple in the TBT. They show up every single year, year in and year out. I got Fred Van Fleet, went to school there. So look at this, man. This is a TBT game, and they show up like this Final Four game. So we're extremely grateful to them, and just got to keep building. I think the principles with whatever team you're on, like I said with my son, I just want to make sure that he continues to play the right way.
Chris, what do you think of the Elam ending? You've seen a lot of games that end in such exciting fashion. Give me your take on the Elam ending.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. And I tell you, I say this, if you guys remember the 2020 All-Star game. The 2020 All-Star game in Chicago, I have to say it, the year before that, I was at the TBT championship, which actually I think was in Chicago that year. And I called Adam Silver and I said, Adam, could you turn on the TV, please? Because we were trying to figure out how to make the All-Star game a little bit more exciting. And so at the time, I think I was still president of the union. And so I had Adam see the Elam ending and said, we should try this in the All-Star game. That year, we ended up doing the All-Star game in Chicago, and unfortunately, that same year, we lost a really good friend of ours, Kobe Bryant. But we brought that ending into the All-Star game, and to me, it's still one of the best All-Star games we ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, CP, you can pick one player in NBA history. He's got the ball in his hands in the Elam ending. Who you got? Who's got the rocket? Who's got it?
Say that one more time.
Elam ending, Chris Paul gets to pick any player in NBA history to have the ball. Who's got the ball? Understanding all that's at stake
easy.
In the Elam.
That's easy. That's easy. Me.
I knew you were going to say that.
Easy.
I like it. I like it.
Who's your wingman? Who's number two? If
Blake Griffin, a pick and roll with you and Blake Griffin. That's pretty good in an Elam ending.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Chris, what do you think it is about the Elam ending as Marcus Keene takes the shot here? More Elam ending shots than anyone in the history of the tournament. What changes? You know, we've seen teams over the course of this tournament, Keene the jumper to give Wichita State the lead, really struggle with how to play in the Elam ending. What changes as far as your mentality as a player, and why do you think some teams have struggled to master the concept?
It's strategy, and you got to have basketball IQ. And another thing is experience teaches you stuff. Like you said, Marcus Keene right there, who's a TBT legend, he understands the moment. See, a lot of teams don't understand if you need a three, right, and you go down and take a layup, you might as well just try to shoot the three, but you got to be able to shoot, right? All these things matter. The time, like if you're going to take a foul at the 4-minute mark, what makes the Elam ending so great, as you guys know, is that it has to end on a made basket. Obviously, people like, oh, we don't want to be a free throw. Don't foul. Don't foul. At the end of the day, it's about making shots. And when you watch the games, what I love about it is there's some guys who will shoot the ball the first 3 quarters, and they don't want anything to do with the basketball when it gets down to the Elam ending.
Right. Yeah, you know, Kansas is probably still alive, Chris, because of the Elam ending. They trailed. They probably ran out of time in games 2 and game 3, but the Elam ending, they kept getting stops, they kept scoring, and it extends the game. So yeah, it's incumbent upon the team that's in the lead to keep on playing and being aggressive. You can't just kind of dribble the clock out, which makes it fun, too.
Exactly, and then there's pressure. There's real pressure. There's real pressure on every shot and all these different things, and you can't just foul like in the regular game, where you just foul in the game, laugh all the time, and it's not as interesting. I love it. As you see Marcus King right here, trying to will his team.
Chris, listen, we're at the under 4 media timeout here in the second quarter, so we got to hit a break. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate you doing this.
No, thank you guys so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
TBT co-owner Chris Paul joining us. Back in a moment.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Man, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Have a great rest of your summer.
Okay.
Thanks.
You too.
Oh, that was great.
Saturday night is baseball night in America, and this week 2 iconic clubs shine under the lights in prime time. Ben Rice and the Yankees face Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Off to a great start here in Wichita, and once again our thanks to Chris Paul for joining us, TBT co-owner, earlier in the quarter. 1-point game, Wichita State in front. This contest has already seen 6 lead changes and 2 ties. Certainly a harbinger of things to come. Brady Dick in the house tonight, former Kansas Jayhawk. So cool to see the alumni presence extending to even non-roster players. What's been your impression of the game so far?
Well, it's been a defensive battle. Both teams are really playing hard. Frank Mason is 1 for 9, and we've talked about how he's so important for this group, not only scoring but distributing as well. So one way or another, Mason's got to find some rhythm and flow, but both these teams are playing so hard and so tough on this end of the floor that everything's been difficult.
Both teams had to win a best-of-3 series to get here. Now it's single elimination the rest of the way. Marcus McDuffie misses from mid-range. Rashard Kelly got into it with a player for Jayhawks hoops, and here come the benches. Let's just hope cooler heads prevail here. And things need to settle down here, and settle down here quickly. Getting everybody back to a cooler temperature here.
To see, you love the intensity, but you want it to stay right below that line. And Rashard Kelly and Mario Chalmers get tied up. And it's just unfortunate. I think those two guys were battling, and it just escalated from there.
Both benches trying to corral their players, and the referees as well, trying to keep everybody on their side of the midcourt line.
It's tough, Chris. You know, there's a way to be competitive and fight without it boiling over, and it's also hard because a good teammate's got each other's back, and so
right.
you understand how immediately all the Shockers saw a fellow Shocker in a tough spot, and all the Jayhawks saw a fellow Jayhawk in a potential tough spot. And so both these teams are going to react, but glad to see Mario's okay. He's up and walking around.
Now the refs will have to adjudicate this. Chalmers and Kelly get hooked up in the battle for the rebound. And that's when things spilled over. Johnny Wilkins, one of our officials, was near the bottom of the pile there. I'm just glad to see he's okay as well.
You should see how they sort this thing out. I'm sure if they just give a tee up. Both benches, or one on Chalmers and one on Rashard Kelly, just to kind of cancel it out. It's tough when you get tied up like that.
Go ahead. 15 and 8. Mario to a punch.
All right, now stop it here. Tell them to give us the widest picture they got.
Let's just figure out.
Referees are currently at the scores table reviewing the aftermath of this play. I don't want to speculate here, but we'll wait and see what gets handed out in terms of fouls. You know, you've got the in-state component to this. Wichita State and Kansas, it's not like they're conference rivals, but they're fighting for fans in the Sunflower State in an atmosphere like this.
Yes.
And there's a lot on the line. A $2 million winner-take-all championship prize.
Good luck sorting this out. Everybody left the bench. I mean, I don't know how you go about.
The good news is I don't think any punches were thrown.
Didn't look like it. It's just unfortunate when two guys immediately go to the ground. It's like it triggers people. Bit of a follow through from Rashard Kelly there on Chalmers, but
this is the angle from the opposite baseline. It was really a dog pile by the time this thing was situated. So this play, or the aftermath of this play, remains under review as the officials continue to pore over the video monitor. We're going to take a break, be back to sort this out. referees have just left the video monitor and are now sharing their findings with the scores table, so we'll have a ruling for you soon after a battle for a rebound between AfterShocks' Rashard Kelly and JHX Hoops' Mario Chalmers boiled over. The bench is cleared.
Yes.
We did not notice any punches were thrown.
It's also hard to tell what was going on under that pile of Shockers and Jayhawks.
There's a massive humanity down on the baseline.
This is just going to be difficult because a lot of people left the bench, and I'm not sure how you're supposed to go about punishing all of those players.
Starting with the players that were involved from the beginning, Kelly and Chalmers. Certainly expect them to be at the forefront of whatever fallout there is. The last time Kansas and Wichita State met in an NCAA game, not that long ago, December 30th, 2023, up in Kansas City. There is NCAA tournament history between these two teams as well, most recently in 2015 when Wichita State knocked off Kansas in a 7-2 upset in the second round. Mentioned Rashard Kelly played in that game.
Yep.
As did Frank Mason and Jamari Traylor, current Jayhawks Hoops players. So the referees communicating with Mike Burns, TBT event coordinator, about just how this is all going to get administered here.
I know a lot of people say reviews take a long time, but if there's one review that needs a lot of time to figure out, it's this one.
When the bench
there's
is
a lot going on, and there's a lot at stake here.
Players from both teams are idling. Everyone's kind of gotten over what originally happened. Now the Jayhawks Hoops crew motioning for head coach Sharon Collins. Zach Bush hearing the word as well from Johnny Wilkins. Be very interesting to see where the game goes from here. This has been a long stoppage, and sort of any kind of game rhythm, it's almost like you're starting from scratch, like you're coming out after halftime.
Well, the good news is in that regard is I don't think either team had a whole bunch of offensive rhythm. This has been kind of a defensive slugfest both ways. Both teams, KU shoot 40% from the field, Wichita State shoot 30% from the field. But you're right, whenever you start and stop like this.
Here's a look at the bracket for TBT on the alumni side. Winner moves to Lexington, Kentucky, where the Kentucky alumni team waits from historic Memorial Coliseum. The alumni final will take place on Wednesday, right here on FS1. The alumni winner will play the non-alumni bracket winner. The non-alumni portion of the bracket happening at the M Resort in Las Vegas. And the championship will take place on August 2nd between the alumni winner and the non-alumni winner. And the winning team, of course, will take home that $2 million prize. As we sit at the broadcast table, Wes Ford, one of our officials, is talking with my broadcast partner Nick Baugh right now and sharing the list of punishments, for lack of a better term. He's got a folded sheet of paper in his hand, and it appears that there are a lot of names on it. So we'll have news for you soon on who gets what, but I think it's going to be a lot. As Nick mentioned, everybody left the benches. It seemed like everybody on Wichita State's bench came to this side of the floor. And that's a violation. There you go. There's the Wichita State bench. Chalmers and Kelly have met at half court and are laughing about the play now, which is good to see. All water under the bridge as far as the players on the court are concerned. We just need to get this hashed out by the book. Zach Bush talking to his players. Everyone's finding out, okay, did I get a foul? Did I get a tech? Did you get all that, Nick? I don't want to put you on the spot.
There's a lot here. So Rashard Kelly and Mario Chalmers have been ejected from the game.
Okay.
There has been a rash of players that, because they left the bench, are ineligible to play now and have been ejected. So right now, each team only has 6 available players left to play. The players that can play, we'll start with Kansas. These are the players that can play. Frank Mason III, Jacob Hanna, Carlton Bragg, Zeke Mayo, Billy Preston, and Andrew Orr. For Wichita State, these are the players that can play. Marcus McDuffie, Corey Washington, Marcus Keene, Trey Wade, Connor Frankamp, and Marcus Santos Silva.
Wow, okay, so that is indeed a laundry list.
I hope that made sense. Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm sure everybody wants to say, everything's all good now, but there's a reason that you can, at every level of basketball, you cannot leave the bench. And the reason for that is because things can escalate quickly if you allow any and everybody to be able to leave the bench. This is unfortunate. No one likes this, but the rules are the rules. And it is what it is. And here we are, we will play basketball. There are no technical free throws, by the way, because they offset each other.
Okay. Ball poked over mid-court, and these are professionals as well.
Yes.
So, you know, they need to be held to the standard of a professional basketball player. You know, you don't want to say they should know better. Finger wag, but there is certainly a standard that needs to be met here.
Very interesting to see how this impacts things now with only 6 available players both ways.
Off the backboard, looked like a pass. Santos Silva got off the shot in time, but a good defensive possession for Jayhawks hoops. Looking to regain the lead here after a long stoppage. There's a foul on Corey Washington of AfterShocks.
So playing defense without fouling is going to be of the utmost importance for both teams.
The crowd trying to re-engage here. Kansas is in the bonus, so that's 2 free throws automatically for Carlton Bragg Jr. And this is the first. TBT fans, show your pride and support your favorite team with official merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long. Bragg goes 0 for 2.
Well, you're looking at the optimistic side of things. The AfterShocks have Keene, which matters, and KU has Frank Mason and Zeke Mayo. So in terms of arguably the most important players, both teams still have those guys.
Santos Silva short. Another foul called on Corey Washington, and now with the benches depleted, you do have to be mindful of foul trouble.
No question about it. And so you have to play with a level of intensity that a competition like this calls for, but you've got to be able to know how to do it without fouling. And oftentimes fatigue can lead to fouling as well. Now both these teams have had a few days off, so they should be pretty fresh. But there's A whole set of issues that come about when you only have 6 available players.
Corey Washington just picked up his 3rd foul. Awfully lonely on the bench after all of the dismissals.
Got a lot of room over there now.
A lot of room as Mayo goes 1 for 2. So JHX Hoops finally able to tie the game, but they've missed 3 of their last 4 free throws. Less than 2 minutes to go until halftime. Trey Wade has been the 11th man on the bench for AfterShocks, but out of necessity, he's on the court now, and Marcus McDuffie draws the foul on a tape.
Where Zeke Mayo's got to understand personnel a little bit better there. You don't need to bite on a shot fake. You'd much rather have McDuffie shooting a 3 than driving to the basket.
Mayo's first. McDuffie's got all 3 of his points at the foul line tonight. Playing in his 6th TBT with AfterShocks. And now his 25th career game in the basketball tournament. He's become a TBT icon.
Go up and down the AfterShocks roster. It is littered with TBT experience.
Mason misses a tough floater baseline. Keen accelerates and throws it into the first row. As we speculated, the game hasn't quite gotten back on track yet.
This game needs halftime. Both these teams need to get into the locker room. They need to take a deep breath.
Zeke Mayo thought it was online. Rebound eventually picked up by Keene. Santos Silva in the lane. Off glass.
He may be big, but he's pretty light on his feet, isn't he?
Gifted athlete. Briefly tried to pursue a pro football career after his college basketball career ended. Was in the Cleveland Browns training camp in the summer of 2022. A blocking foul called there against Kansas. Zeke Mayo hits the deck and picks up his 2nd foul.
White fully set. How about that? 10 rebounds, 3.7 assists, both lead the team. Zach Bush raved about Marcus Santos Silva and just how nice it is to have someone as talented as he is that does the other things and doesn't care or think about scoring.
One for 2 at the stripe. Both teams a little iffy at the free throw line. Wichita State has slowly grown its lead to 4. Hannah in traffic.
He's had a paint mentality. He's tough to keep out of the lane. This is where Hannah has to understand that Keene is hunting. In particular, 3s off the bounce. If you get a switch, you got to know your personnel when you're dealing with a TBT legend in Marcus Keene.
Shot clock's off. 8 seconds to go. Santos Silva. Trey Wade takes the 3. Strong. 1 second left for Billy Preston. Did not get the shot away. And halftime arrives with Wichita State in front by 2. What a start to this game. We appear to be in for a photo finish. In the first ever TBT meeting between Wichita State and Kansas, it's already been memorable. And the AfterShocks lead by 2, looking to keep their TBT title defense alive. Halftime from Charles Koch Arena. Merch table's been awfully busy inside Charles Koch Arena. Fans stocking up on AfterShocks gear. They've had years, literally, to do that. This is year 7 in TBT for AfterShocks, going back to 2019. They lead by 2 over Kansas at the break. Some TBT news and notes. La Familia, the Kentucky alumni team, they await the winner of this matchup here tonight in the Alumni Finals. Red Rose War Ready, just before we came on air, won a thriller, 65-63. They had the game on inside Charles Koch Arena on the Jumbotron, and everyone was reacting to it. The non-alumni semifinal will take place against Davis Steel. Davis Steel, the defending TBT runners-up. They lost to AfterShocks' Everline Drive in the finals last year. And remember, it's the alumni bracket winner versus the Las Vegas Open winner in the $2 million winner-take-all championship on Sunday on Fox. Noon tip-off Central Time for those watching in the Sunflower State. 27-25, got a good one on our hands. More from halftime when we come back. First half stats, Wichita State leads by 2, dominating on the glass again, Nick, as they have all tournament, but That's a low shooting percentage, really, for both teams.
Yeah, and you look at Wichita State flexing their muscles on the glass, but KU doing a nice job of taking care of the ball, so that's how it's kind of equaling out right now. Kansas only 2 turnovers. AfterShocks 8 turnovers. So we'll see if this halftime break, both teams need to collect themselves in a major way.
Anyone's game. We'll be back for the start of the second half when we return from Charles Koch Arena. Shoot your shot with Blue Chew Gold. They're #1 for a reason. Well, the standout moment of the second quarter, in addition to our interview with TBT co-owner Chris Paul, was a skirmish that broke out as Rashard Kelly and Mario Chalmers battled for a rebound. Benches cleared, so here's who's eligible to play for AfterShocks. You'll notice there are only 6 players on that list. Keene, McDuffie, Santos, Silva, Washington, Frankamp, and Wade. For Jayhawks hoops, their bench has been shortened considerably as well. They're also only down to 6 players: Mason, Hannah, Mayo, Bragg, Orr, and Preston.
Yeah, so a total of 8 players were ejected from the game between Wichita State and Kansas. So both these teams, I think, needed the halftime break to gather themselves. was a little bit of a grinder, and then you have a melee ensue. Got some important players that are still on the floor for both teams, but this guy with the ball has got to get rolling. Frank Mason III, 1 for 10 in that first half.
Mason throws it inside to Bragg, who saves the play but turns it over to McDuffie. Good start for AfterShocks on defense.
Well, for Kansas, they got to start rebounding the ball, and for Wichita State, they got to quit turning the ball over.
Duffy stepped out of bounds. Yeah, right on cue.
9th turnover of the game for Wichita State. That's kind of been the theme. You and I have done every one of Wichita State's games. Turning the ball over, especially those pick-6 runouts, have been a big problem.
Jacob Hanna is Jayhawks Hoops' leading scorer. He gets stuffed by Trey Wade and then fouled by Santos Silva.
Jacob Hanna driving the ball into the paint has really been Kansas's best source of offense. Sharon Collins felt like they had an advantage in attacking Frankamp and Marcus Keene. Both those guys are supremely talented offensive players, but they're not overly big and impactful defensive players. So I'd imagine you're going to see more of Hanna and company attacking Keene and Frankamp off the bounce.
Jacob Hanna is having a great night. He was a State Player of the Year finalist at Mays High School here in Wichita. Mays High School, by the way, is now coached by Zach Bush, none other than the AfterShocks head coach.
And those two had an embrace in between shoot-arounds today.
Mays High Pride.
Mays High Pride superseded any beef between the two programs at this point.
Trey Wade blocked on the stick-back opportunity. Mayo leaks out. Mayo blocked by McDuffie. It's a goaltend. Count the bucket.
Defense leading to offense. Pitch ahead pass from Jacob Hanna. Looked like this was off the glass first. Then McDuffie got it. Easy goaltend call.
Wade, baseline drive.
Trey Wade has not played a ton. He's a vet of TBT, but he's not played a ton in this TBT.
Marcus Keene draws the foul on Frank Mason. And that was in the act of shooting a 3.
Mason saying King kicked his foot back. Let's see. He's got a point, more of a side kick.
Was his foot on the line there? It was hard to tell. He's getting 3 free throws, so first one's good. Marcus Keene, one of TBT's best ever. He's crossed the 400-point mark in this tournament and 5th all-time. 100 assists. And he's also in the top 5 for made threes.
Of course, has the most Elam enders as well.
None in 2026, though, just saying.
It's true.
See, he's itching for it.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He'd have an opportunity tonight. He goes 2 for 3 at the strike. Stays with Jayhawks Hoops. Both teams down to just 6 players. Preston backing down Washington, and the foul is called. That's number 4 on Corey Washington. He gets 6.
He gets 6 personal fouls, like you said, but playing without fouling has been problematic at times for Corey Washington. He was in foul trouble of game 2 of the first round series against New Mexico. Now Trey Wade will check in. Well, they didn't get it.
Mayo all day to line that one up. Strong. 3 AfterShocks converge for the rebound. They still come up with it, and Mayo picks up the foul. It's number 3 on Mayo.
It's probably not a smart. Mayo needs to be a little smarter than that, given the fact there's only 6 players. But boy, did AfterShocks dodge a bullet. As Corey Washington was running off the floor thinking he was going to check out of the game. Corey Washington was guarding Zeke Mayo, so no one was on Mayo, and he gets a wide open 3 and missed it.
Mayo had the big 25-point outburst in Kansas's Game 3 win over Kansas State. Marcus Keene for three. Rebound tipped off the rim. Santos Silva draws the foul and is going to the line.
The big dude to trying to keep off the glass. And the problem is you're guarding him, you're out hedging a ball screen 25 feet from the basket, and then you got to get back in the fight and try to keep Santos Silva off the glass as well.
Santos Silva goes 2 for 2. He's up to 7 points in the ball game.
Bobbled it, was going to have an open three, just didn't catch it clean.
Mayo one-on-one with Keene. NBA range, and Mayo knocks it down.
He can do that. The Lawrence High native knows what to do with the basketball when he's got any sliver of daylight. Elite level shooter.
Played last season for the Cleveland Charge in the G League. Santos Silva, too strong off glass. McDuffie out to Frankamp. The two former Shockers recycle the play. Frankamp out to Wade, 7 to shoot. Wade picks up his dribble and nearly banked it in. Hanna, full head of steam, blocked by Frankamp. And it's AfterShocks ball.
How about Keene and Frankamp blocking shots today for Wichita State? Similar situations, transition as a secondary defender. Heck of a play from Connor Frankamp, who you just feel like Frankamp needs to get 1-3 to go down for him to get into a rhythm.
Santos Silva on Andrew Orr. McDuffie inside. After the rebound. And it goes to JHX hoops. Just feels like this game is ripe for someone to take it over.
No doubt.
Totally up for grabs.
And neither team can quite seize it right now. But both these teams are really playing hard.
Deadlocked at 31. This is a JHX hoops kind of game, grinder of a game. AfterShocks games have been more high scoring this year.
Kansas is comfortable in this sort of game right here.
Mayo trying to shake McDuffie. Give and go. And a kick ball is called. Stays with Kansas Alumni, 6 on the shot clock.
It's a really good job by McDuffie to run Mayo off the line, but then Mayo doing a nice job of just being in perpetual motion. When you're a shooter, the more screens you can set and the more you can move, the more opportunities you're going to create for not only you, but your teammates.
Frankamp made a play on Preston. He pulls up on Wade. Strong. Wade the rebound. Wade played just 2 minutes for AfterShocks in their Game 3 win over New Mexico. Forced into a larger role here tonight. And the foul on Andrew Orr, his first.
Trey Wade's played a lot of basketball, and a lot of basketball in the TBT. So if there's anybody that is totally comfortable out there in this spot, even though they haven't played a ton, it's Trey Wade.
It's just interesting because when we spoke to Zach Bush today, of course, not having any idea how this game would play out, but he mentioned Trey Wade specifically, and he said, look, I know he's my 11th guy. He's doing a great job playing his role for us. He is a very capable player. So is Marcus Keene. He's up to 8. Mason, uninterrupted, missed the layup. It's almost like Bush knew that Wade would take on a larger role tonight. Marcus Keene, always in the thick of it in TBT. McDuffie the block on Mason. It stays with Kansas.
Well, Marcus Keene is starting to feel himself a little bit. Hitting that seam, getting the layup. And how many times have we seen this transition? He is hunting threes.
Foul. Uh-oh. Wade and Billy Preston have to be separated. We do not want a repeat scenario of what we saw in the second quarter.
Let's take a look at it, right? In the middle of the paint, Wade and Preston.
Wade had
both those
Preston's
guys are
jersey up by his chest.
Yeah, Preston grabs Wade by the neck. They're both tied up. Trey Wade's got his hand up there too.
Yeah. You could cut the tension with a knife. Another break. AfterShocks by 5. We'll sort this out later. Referees continue to look at this play. Middle of the lane, Trey Wade, number 5 in black, and Billy Preston, 22 in blue. Just got stuck, and no one wanted to let go.
My guess is it's a double technical foul. I don't think either guys are going to get ejected, so you're going to remain with 6 available players. Again, if you missed it in the second quarter, there was a brawl, little melee started by Mario Chalmers and Rashard Kelly, led to 8 players ejected total between the two teams, only 6 available on both sides. There you see the players that are available to play for Wichita State.
And Jayhawks hoops only with 6 available as well. Now, worth noting, the general manager, one of the key organizers of this Jayhawks hoops program, Tyshawn Taylor, of course, Jayhawks fans know him well. He's not dressed to play, but he is on the active roster for the Kansas Alumni team and could be permitted to enter the game out of necessity or if he so chose. He has played in this tournament before, most recently as last year. He more or less told us at the start of TBT this year that he did not want to play. We do not have any reason to believe there are any more ejections coming down. Here's Nick with the official word from the officials.
So we got personal fouls on Preston and Trey Wade, and we have dead ball technical fouls on both Preston and Trey Wade. Kansas had possession, or excuse me, Wichita State will assume possession of the basketball. And here we go, after all of that.
Wichita State the lead in the basketball, mid-third quarter. It is win or go home between these two programs. Keene rises strong.
One good thing with the layoff is it felt like Keene was starting to get into a flow, and then the game stopped here for a while. And might have killed whatever flow Keene was in.
He had scored 5 straight points for AfterShocks after the game was tied at 31. This is a foul on Marcus Santos Silva, his third.
He's not ready to slide his feet. A silly reach. Maybe against a junior varsity guard, you might be able to poke it free from there, but not Zeke Mayo.
These players have not been at the junior varsity level in a long, long time.
I don't know if any of these guys played JV. They might have went straight to varsity even as freshmen.
Kansas has not had it going at the free throw line now. 3 of 10.
That's been their superpower so far in the TBT, is their ability to get to the line and make free throws. They've not shot the ball well in the tournament, but they've made up for it by getting to the line.
Mayo has a game-high 12 points. Frankamp. Floater. Friendly roll. He moves these rims well.
Great play from Frankamp. Understanding he's going to get run off the line, and he can do that. He can hit those little mid-range floaters.
Zeke Mayo for 3.
He had an enormous game against Kansas State in game 3.
Washington met at the rack, and the ball pops out.
Good job by Andrew Orr to contest that without fouling.
The former D2 star up at Washburn University in Topeka. Mayo a heat check 3. Santos Silva snaps down the rebound.
Well, both Keene and Mayo are not shy letting it fly from 3 off the bounce. You have to understand that when you're guarding them.
That's a foul on Andrew Orr, his second.
One thing about both Keene and Mayo is even if they haven't been making shots, they are going to continue to shoot with confidence. Zeke Mayo has not shot the ball well, but he's just continued to put his foot on the gas, and that's what this team needs from him.
Wichita State now in the bonus, so 2 free throws for Santos Silva even with that miss. He goes 0 for 2. Mason step back on Marcus Keene, strong. Loose ball in the corner, saved by Jacob Hanna. He stepped out of bounds. AfterShocks ball.
I think Mason just cannot find any rhythm at all. 1 for 12 from the floor now.
He has played his best basketball of the tournament in the Elam end.
Yes.
We're not there yet.
Again, the thing about these guys, they're all pros. They don't ride the roller coaster of confidence.
In and out for Washington. 2-on-1. Mayo with the finish. Washington draws the foul. That's number 4 on Billy Preston.
Good job by Zeke Mayo. I thought he was going to throw it up to Jacob Hanna, but just realized that he had such a size advantage on Keene. Just go right through Keene's chest and go get 2. Mayo's just about the only guy that's in a flow right now for KU.
Wichita State going through it at the free throw line. Gritty, low-scoring game here.
And you can feel the tension in the building. There's been scuffles, obviously. 2 in-state programs that have kind of had their eye on each other for a couple of years in the TBT.
Hanna, how did he get that one to go?
He's got to stay aggressive, Chris. He has to continue to drive the ball and force the issue.
Washington, splash.
What a play from Frankamp. Able to get run off the line and just spoon feed Washington a triple.
Concrete screen set by Bragg, and Mason buries the three.
You said it, Chris. What a screen from Bragg. And maybe that'll be the shot that gets Frank Mason rolling.
Washington. Tough look. Mayo defended the play well. Chance to take the lead for Jayhawks hoops here. Mayo short on the finger roll, and a foul called on Carlton Bragg.
A bit of offensive life on both sides, especially from beyond the arc. Great job by Frankamp getting run off the line and making a play for a teammate. Corey Washington drills it, and then boy, Keene goes to the deck off the Bragg screen, and Frank Mason III, the 2017 National Player of the Year, splashes it.
Santos Silva 3 for 6 at the free throw line. It's been a business as usual game for him. 8 points and 9 rebounds.
Hard hat, lunch pail kind of a player.
Had a double-double, a TBT career high 11 rebounds in the win over New Mexico in game 3. Frank Mason gets to the cup.
That's a clinic on changing speeds, Chris. It's something all good guards got to be able to do. Start, stop, start again.
Keene turns it over. Numbers for Kansas. And a bad pass by Mayo. Oh, Mason, as level-headed of a player as there is, his reaction said a lot.
Frustrating. On a night where you've struggled from the floor, you were going to have a wide open layup and you just can't catch a pass.
Loose ball, Mayo with the takeaway, and then the foul on Marcus Keene, his third.
Another turnover is what KU can do. The only way you come back in an Elam ending scenario when you're down twice is if you're getting stops. And that's the thing about this group. A lot of these guys are, their initial TBT name was Self-Made, and I think that's appropriate because a lot of these guys played for Bill Self, and they speak the same language and they're cut from the same cloth, and that's a tough cloth from a tough coach.
You certainly would know. You played on Bill Self's first 2 Kansas Jayhawks teams.
I'm not so sure that toughness isn't the #1 thing he looks for in a player.
Jacob Hanna, what a find for the Jayhawks Hoops TBT program. He's reached double figures in all 4 games at the tournament. This is his 2nd TBT summer. Santos Silva caught it like a tight end. Washington with 7 in the quarter. Turned over again. Loose ball. Picked up by Hanna. 1 second left. He's fouled. He's fouled by Marcus Keene.
That might be number 4 on Keene. Got to be smarter than this if you're Marcus Keene. There's 1 second left. But credit KU. Nice little flurry down the stretch with defensive activity.
Four-tenths of a second to go in the quarter. Hanna with a TBT career high, 14 points tonight. Now 15, that will count. That free throw will count. And for that matter, they should put 4/10 of a second back on the clock.
You're right, Chris. I'm not sure they'll do it, but they'll get the friendly roll, the Wichita roll for the Wichita native.
And that was confirmed by Wes Ford. Free throw counts. 4/10 of a second left, but
Or you could throw one deep to the tight end.
that's right.
Marcus Santos Silva, but you got to have someone touch it.
Frank Camp did not get it off in time. 4 points is not a large margin, but it feels like a lot with how neck and neck this game has been. It's Kansas with a late third quarter surge. Takes a 48-44 lead into the fourth quarter. Great finish around the corner. This is TBT. Barstool Sports is on the air. Portnoy, Big Cat, PFT, and the rest of the Barstool Sports crew put their own special twist on sports talk. This game has been full of twists and turns.
Yeah.
The TBT bracket rapidly approaching its final four teams. La Familia already in the field. Either AfterShocks or JHX Hoops will join them tonight, and you see the final will take place between the Alumni winner and the Vegas Open winner. Semifinals in Vegas tomorrow on FS1.
So it'll be a quick turnaround for one of these teams. They'll have to head to Lexington tomorrow.
Connor Frankamp starts the fourth quarter with a bang.
What a set from Zach Bush, understanding what this game needs, and what it needs for Wichita is Connor Frankamp.
Mason lost the handle on the way up. It stays on this end. Frankamp with 5 points now, his first triple of the game.
Watch, he's coming from the opposite block. No communication. You got to stay attached to him. Frankamp drills it.
Frankamp played overseas in Poland the last 2 overseas seasons. Hannah, wild shot off the glass. Bragg nearly put it in, and a foul is called. It's on Marcus McDuffie. Hard to believe, but it's the first personal on Marcus McDuffie. Feels like everybody's on a foul.
Seems impossible with how this game has unfolded. Another great attack from Hannah. Just creates a rotation rebound and then a foul. Take a look at foul trouble. Could loom large, especially on the Wichita State side of things. Keene and Washington each with 4. And certainly Marcus Keene, you need his offense and his comfort and confidence in the Elam ending that is just around the corner.
Carlton Bragg, 2-year Jayhawk, 2015-17. His first 2 points of the night.
They're starting to trap Keene. They're running 2 at him. Smart from Sharon Collins from KU.
What a pass by Keene back to Santos Silva. He's going to the line.
And Chris, Santos Silva's going to have to be able to do that. They're trapping Keene out at half court, trying to just get it out of his hands and willing to play 4-on-3 with Santos Silva being the trigger man.
Santos Silva's going to have to hit his free throws too. I
Correct.
get the sense he's going to spend a lot of time at the line here.
But Sharon Collins is just saying, you know what, we're going to live with Santos Silva making plays. We're not going to do our best to not allow Keene to just get loose. This is where Keene might have to hunt things in transition. When you're getting trapped in the half court, transition is when you got to really, really be aggressive. Oh man, Mayo could have jumped into Keene for his 5th foul.
Tough shot in and out for Andrew Orr.
This kind of situation, if you can attack.
Frankamp curls, pulls. Short, but not by much.
Dead on line.
Orr pile driving Frankamp toward the baseline. Frankamp forced a foul.
Good recognition from Orr. Got a mouse in the house. You just pin him on your back, draw a foul.
Number 2 on Frankamp. 1-point game. Elam ending coming when we get under 4 minutes to play. Game clock turned off. We'll play to a target score to determine who moves on to the next round. Mason over McDuffie. Kane waving McDuffie forward. Keene around Bragg. Keene drops it off. Santos Silva lays it in.
If you're going to try to trap, you cannot allow Keene to get out of the trap, because now it's 5-on-3 and it's showtime. Good play from Marcus Keene.
The lead back to AfterShocks. Mason dribbles it off his heel. Poked out to Mayo. Mayo, finger roll and a beauty.
What hustle from Mason. His dive and tap to Mayo keeps the play alive.
Kansas back in front, back and forth we go. And it's Jayhawks hoops ball. What a play by Jacob Hannah.
I just love Hannah's mentality defensively, but take another look at it. When you're trapping out there, you cannot allow the ball handler to get out of the trap or you're in big trouble. Look at those assists just in the record books now.
Tied for first in TBT history in dimes. Marcus Keene. Mayo, Bragg, almost with a thunderous tip sling. Frankamp thought about it. Long pass to Washington. He pulls. Rebound Mayo. Mayo with the rip, the spin, and a foul.
We're going to get this home.
Santos Silva.
Okay.
You're right. If it was Keene, it would have been his 5th. Yeah.
That's the right call.
Marcus Santos Silva's 4th. They'll take a breather. Preston gets tied up. Ball kicked around, and Wade comes up with it.
Outstanding help defense from Trey Wade. Big time play.
Screen McDuffie. Five to shoot for Washington. He lays it in.
Excellent ball reversal, and Washington can attack the closeout.
AfterShocks back in front. Less than a minute to go until the Elam ending. Frank Mason coughs it up. Foul call.
Boy, I thought it looked like Mason just lost the ball. There might have been a little bit of hand to the midsection from Trey Wade.
His 2nd personal. 4th team foul. Kansas 1 away from the bonus, which in the Elam ending is 1 free throw plus the ball. Mayo spins inside. One move.
Love it. I thought early in this tournament, Mayo was just settling for threes. I think he's done a better job driving the ball to the basket.
He's to 21 points. Marcus McDuffie, air ball 3. Kicked out of bounds. And it's, upon further review, going to JHX hoops. I think that's the correct call.
Good clean look, great pass from Trey Wade. Not even close for Marcus McDuffie. All right, Elam ending coming up here, folks.
Kansas trying to take the lead going into the Elam ending. It's becoming the Zeke Mayo zone.
Known as a shooter, but he's a driver here in Wichita in crunch time.
Keene, look out. Hannah with the backside pressure. AfterShocks playing for another bucket before the Elam ending. We are in Elam ending territory. Washington lays it in. Great answer by AfterShocks. Timeout, Wichita State. TBT fans know what's coming. The Elam ending, 1st to 64, keeps their $2 million dream alive. 1-point game as we enter the Elam ending. JHX Hoops 56, AfterShocks 55. The Elam ending takes place at or under the 4-minute media timeout in the fourth quarter. The target score is set by adding 8 points to the leading team's score. And you play to that target score to determine the winner of the game. Nick, your Elam ending breakdown.
Well, you have to have an next-play mentality because the anxiety is up, but you got to be able to turn the page quick and get ready for the next possession. When you get to within 3 points, it doesn't have to be a three-pointer. Take the 2 points. You also can't get stagnant and just stand and watch ISO ball, and rebounding is paramount. So oftentimes, it's the offensive rebounds that can send you home.
The first ever meeting in TBT between Kansas and Wichita State has the makings of a classic. 10 ties, 7 lead changes. Mason off the mark. Neither team is led by more than 6 points. It has been tooth and nail.
Been trapping Marcus Keene, and he's having a hard time shaking free. Here a double high, 2 on him. Somebody's got to step up and make a play.
Both teams 0 for 1 with their first possession.
I love the defensive adjustment from Sharon Collins to come with double teaming Keene. It's bothered Keene. It's disjointed Wichita State.
Mayo pulls up. He's got 25 in back-to-back games.
He's got 19 in the second half. Mayo is feeling it.
JHX Hoops needs 6 to win. Keene pulls and is going to the free throw line. Jacob Hanna picks up the foul.
First time Keene's come off a handoff and not had an edge in his face, and he just let it fly. Oh, wow. I didn't see much contact there from Jacob Hanna.
And remember, Kansas is out of challenges.
Correct.
Bring their challenge in the first quarter. Keene with 12 points. TBT's number 5 all-time leading scorer.
To me now in this next possession, does Wichita State need to take a page out of Kansas's playbook and start putting 2 on Zeke Mayo and make somebody else make a shot? Mason has struggled. Jacob Hanna's not really a three-point shooter. Because right now, when Zeke Mayo's got the ball and he's been isolated, he's having success.
Keene goes 2 for 3. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by JHX Hoops. What a play by Marcus Santos Silva.
Again, you can't challenge it. You burned your challenge earlier. You lost it, so you can't challenge it.
Inside, saved by Washington. Frankamp dials long range. Offline. 1-point game again. Mason pulls the trigger. In and out. Loose ball saved by Preston.
On Frankamp, I try to not let Mayo get the ball.
Hanna on Keene. Too strong. Washington rips the rebound away.
And the ball never got in Mayo's hands.
Ball in Keene's hands now. Keene inside. Fights for control. McDuffie throws it out of bounds.
Jacob Hanna. Wow.
Junkyard dog.
Junkyard dog. That is an incredible defensive effort on Marcus Keene, just blowing up the play.
The Wichita native, remember. Jacob Hanna.
Trap this, try and get it out of his hands. Splits it.
Mayo. Blocked by McDuffie. Another try. Blocked again. McDuffie goes 2 for 2. And Mason picks the pass It is out of bounds. AfterShocks ball. Marcus Keene is asking for a timeout. He might be gassed.
You might be right.
The AfterShocks do call a timeout. They have one remaining.
In the last, out of this timeout coming out of the fourth quarter, they drew up a great set to get Frankamp a three. Zach Bush, very organized, a really good high school coach. He'll have something up his sleeve here out of this timeout. You've had a hard time getting clean shots. This is when your dry erase board needs to have an assist and manufacture a look here.
A reminder, the winner of this game moves on to face Kentucky in the Alumni Bracket Final on Wednesday. The winner of that game, also single elimination by the way, moves on to the TBT Championship on August 2nd. Game will be right here on the Fox family of networks. Big Fox, in fact, noon tip-off on Sunday, August 2nd. This game has been a rock fight.
It has, and again, 6 available players, so who can fight through fatigue in crunch time?
Who's going to hit the big shot? Wait a second. Referee stop play. While Wes Ford and Stephen Maxwell discuss, a reminder that the Las Vegas Open bracket semifinals are tomorrow on FS1. Davis Steele, Red Rose, War Ready, who won a thriller today to advance to the Las Vegas Open semifinal.
He's got to work hard to get open here. Hannah's going to make this tough. He's able to get it.
Ten to shoot. Washington trying to get by Mayo. He tips it up, but not in. Bragg has it on the end line, and jump ball. Possession arrow pointing to JHX hoops.
Wow, Ford Washington just put the defender underneath the rim and just could not get the roll. Not once, but twice. Got to get to Mayo. Right back to him, let him go to work.
Mayo guarded by Keene. Step back three. Around and out.
Keene looks gassed right now.
Yeah.
Hannah has just really made him work.
Hannah blocks it and stares him down.
He has taken on the challenge of defending Marcus Keene.
He's embraced it.
No doubt about it.
Still AfterShocks ball. Keene breathing hard. Turned over. Preston on the run. Bragg stole it.
Good decision from Preston.
Mayo.
Got the switch here.
8
You know
to
who
2.
the non-shooters are and getting the caps if you're Wichita State.
Mayo with 4. Loose in the corner. Hannah the first one there. Jump ball. And foul. No. Timeout.
Timeout. Wow. Had a broken floor situation with the ball in Frank Mason's hands, too.
No one's happier than Marcus Keene.
And Mayo's gotten 2 good looks on those step backs, and
Who called timeout?
Kansas.
But I mean, at what point? Like,
At some point in all of that, it looked like Sharon Collins or Tyshawn Taylor called timeout. Yeah, Sharon Collins is screaming for it, timeout.
No one scored in a while.
You gotta be able to gather yourself. These moments here.
Zach Bush at the whiteboard at the center of the AfterShocks huddle.
Just been so impressed with the toughness displayed by both teams here. And in particular from Jacob Hanna. And he has really put on a defensive clinic.
Whoever wins will have until Wednesday to catch their breath. Kentucky sitting comfortably at home, watching the outcome of this one. Mason saw an opening, hits the three.
Santo Silva backed up just enough, and that is a no-no on the former 2017 National Player of the Year, Frank Mason.
Keen kick out, McDuffie. Off the rim. It's out of bounds.
Look at this, right? Santo Silva just backs up a little bit, and that's all Frank Mason needed. He has not had his best stuff, but he has been clutch.
AfterShocks need a bucket. Santos Silva, mismatch. Off glass.
These sorts of situations, 3 points away. This doesn't have to be a three.
A three would win it, however. Easy to be seduced by such a look. He does it again. He has hit all three of JHX Hoops' Elam-ending shots in this tournament. And Kansas is moving on to the next round.
And Frank Mason has been ice cold the entire night. 3 of 17 from the floor heading into the Elam inning, and twice the hedge man makes a mistake and Mason makes him pay and sends KU to the next round.
They'll be talking about this TBT game for a long time. Kansas dethrones the defending TBT champions. Wichita State's title defense is over after a 64-59 win for the Kansas Alumni team. The game ended on a three-pointer by Frank Mason. He scored 6 of Kansas's 8 points in the Elam ending. And it's Kentucky, Kansas on Wednesday in Lexington for the Alumni Bracket Championship. What
Unbelievable. Can you believe that?
No. But I'm glad that it's reality.
2012 National Championship game rematch there. And incredible display of toughness from Kansas. I mean, Jacob Hanna defensively, Mayo scoring the ball, and then in crunch time, who else but Frank Mason III stepping up and making plays for KU.
A game that no one wanted to lose, but Kansas ends AfterShocks run atop the TBT podium. For my broadcast partner, Nick Bob, our producer, Kevin Brellenthin, and our director, Doug Brown, I'm Chris Foster saying so long from the Roundhouse. Kansas, Kentucky on Wednesday in the next round of TBT.